Okay, so you want to buy a private island. Find an island, build a house, watch the waves come in. But here's the strange part. A private island is the only piece of real estate on Earth where the purchase price is sometimes the smallest number on the spreadsheet. It's also the only asset where billionaires routinely lose tens of millions of dollars a year on something they already own outright, with no mortgage, no tenant, no debt at all. So how is that possible? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why islands are priced like a magic trick, why the same $2 million purchase can quietly turn into a $4 million project before you've spent a single night there, and why one of the richest men in America called his island the poorest financial investment of his entire life, right before another billionaire bought it from him for $300 million. Islands come in three tiers, and like casinos, they're really three different businesses wearing the same name. At the bottom, you can buy an island for under $500,000. Small lake islands in Nova Scotia, a few acres in the Finnish archipelago, undeveloped cays in Belize. For that money, you get land, water on four sides, and absolutely nothing else. No power, no dock, no house. The middle tier runs $2 million to $15 million. This is where you start getting an actual developed property. A main residence, a dock, solar panels, a water system. Think a private retreat in the Bahamas or the Exumas. And then there's the top tier where the price tag stops meaning anything. Larry Ellison didn't buy a house on an island. In 2012, he bought 98% of an entire Hawaiian island, Lanai, 140 square miles of it, for $300 million. But here's what almost nobody tells you when they talk about island prices. The listing price is just the entry fee. Industry data puts the real multiplier at roughly 1.8 times the purchase price once you factor in closing costs, a dock, solar power, a desalination system, and a basic home. A $2 million island doesn't cost $2 million to actually live on. It costs closer to $3.6 million, and that's before a single year of upkeep. So why does an island cost so much more than the same square footage on the mainland? This is the part that actually explains the entire industry. When you buy land on the mainland, you're not just buying dirt, you're buying access, a power grid that thousands of other homes already paid to build, a water main that runs under the street for free, a road that connects to a hospital, a fire department, a grocery store. All of that infrastructure was built once by someone else over decades, and you get to plug into it for the price of a monthly utility bill. An island has none of that. There's no grid to plug into, no municipal water line under the sand, no road crew showing up if a storm takes out your dock. Every single piece of civilization you'd normally borrow from your neighbors, you now have to build yourself, pay for yourself, and maintain yourself as the only customer. That's the real mechanism. You're not buying real estate. You're buying the right and the obligation to construct your own miniature utility company just to power one house. That shows up immediately in the annual numbers. Running a private island typically costs somewhere between $84,000 and $310,000 a year, and that's regardless of whether you ever set foot on it. Property tax alone runs 0.5% to 2.5% of the island's value every single year. Insurance is worse. Hurricane zone coverage can run $50,000 to $120,000 annually because insurers know exactly what saltwater and wind do to a structure with no mainland fire department to call. Add a caretaker, because if nobody lives there, the jungle reclaims your house in about 2 years. Add boat or helicopter transport just to bring in groceries. Add a generator, a battery bank, and a desalination unit, none of which last forever, all of which need a replacement fund sitting untouched in the background. None of this generates income. It's pure outflow, every year, whether you visit once or not at all. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because two of the richest men in America bought the exact same island 20 years apart, and one of them called it the worst decision of his life. David Murdoch, the billionaire who controlled Castle and Cooke, ran Lanai for nearly 3 decades after the island's pineapple plantations shut down. He bet on tourism, built resorts, built infrastructure, tried to turn an entire Hawaiian island into a destination. The bet didn't work. By his own estimate, he was losing $20 to $30 million a year just keeping the island running. Buildings fell into disrepair, staff got cut. By 2011, Murdoch told a local newspaper that buying Lanai had been the poorest financial investment of his entire life. He put the whole island up for sale. Enter Larry Ellison, co-founder of Oracle, then the 5th richest man on the planet. In 2012, he bought 98% of Lanai for $300 million, a deal so cheap given the size of the island that it worked out to roughly $7,000 an acre. Ellison didn't just buy the dirt. He inherited every single utility company problem that comes with owning your own island, at a scale most people never have to think about. An entire town's water supply, its only grocery store, its only newspaper, the jobs of 400 employees. He spent accordingly. An estimated $450 million went into rebuilding just one of the two resorts. He bought the island's airline to make it easier for guests to arrive, and that airline went bankrupt anyway, hemorrhaging over $1 million a month before it finally shut down in 2017. As recently as 2025, Ellison's company was still cutting jobs and shrinking departments on the island, more than a decade after the purchase. Two of the wealthiest people in American business. Same island, same mechanism, the same lesson learned twice. Owning an island doesn't make you money by default. It makes you the sole financier of an entire miniature civilization. And civilizations are expensive, no matter who's signing the checks. So if even billionaires bleed money on islands, why do some private islands generate millions of dollars a year instead of losing them? The answer is that the ones making money stopped being private islands and quietly became hotels. In 1979, a 29-year-old Richard Branson paid $180,000 for a deserted 74-acre island in the British Virgin Islands called Necker. The local government attached one condition to the sale: build a resort on it within 4 years. Branson spent roughly $10 million doing exactly that. Here's the part that changes the entire economics. Necker isn't a private vacation home that occasionally gets photographed with a celebrity on it. It's a functioning hotel that Branson happens to live in part-time. Book the whole island exclusively, and the rate starts around $100,000 to $140,000 a night for up to 50+ guests. Don't want the whole island? You can book a single room during select weeks for around $5,400 a night. 24 rooms booked at luxury resort rates multiple times a year for over 4 decades. That's the mechanism that flips an island from a money pit into a business. The maintenance costs don't disappear. Necker has been rebuilt twice, once after a 2011 fire and again after Hurricane Irma in 2017, multi-million-dollar repairs both times. But unlike Lanai, every one of those costs is sitting on top of an actual revenue stream. The same hurricane-proofing, the same staff, the same boats and generators that bleed Lanai dry are on Necker line items on a hotel's balance sheet, paid for by guests instead of by the owner alone. The math is almost identical to the McDonald's franchise model. You can absorb enormous fixed costs as long as something is consistently buying from you. The difference between Lanai and Necker is that one owner found 365 days a year of customers, and the other was the only customer his island ever had. Two mistakes show up again and again whenever a private island loses money. Mistake 1. Buying scale you can't fill. Murdoch built infrastructure for a tourism boom that never reliably arrived, and an empty resort still needs full staff, full insurance, and full maintenance whether a single guest checks in or not. Mistake 2. Treating an island as a finished purchase instead of a permanent subscription. The buyers who get blindsided are the ones who budgeted for the listing price and stop there, forgetting the 1.8x build-out multiplier and the 6-figure annual bill that starts the moment the deed is signed. Storm or no storm, guest or no guest. So, 2 real scenarios. What do you actually walk away with? Scenario 1. The lifestyle purchase. A $1 million developed island in the Bahamas or Exumas. With the 1.8x rule, your real all-in cost is closer to $1.8 million. Annual running costs land around $100,000 to $150,000 a year forever, whether you visit twice a year or 20 times. There's no revenue. This is the most honest version of island ownership, a very, very expensive vacation home that happens to be surrounded by water on every side. You're not an investor, you're a customer of your own private nation, paying its taxes alone. Scenario 2, the Necker model. Build a real resort, call it $10 to $20 million in development on top of the purchase, full staff, full hospitality licensing. Book it out even 60 nights a year at $100,000 a night exclusive rate, and you're looking at $6 million in gross revenue before you've touched the individual room bookings at all. Annual operating costs scale up accordingly, easily into the millions for a property that size, but the difference is structural. You finally have customers paying down the same bill that sinks every island that doesn't. So, if you do decide to buy a private island, just remember the one rule that separates Lanai from Necker. An island doesn't care how rich you are. It only cares whether you're the only one paying the bill, or whether you've convinced 40 dozen strangers a year to help you pay it instead.